What it is, y'all? It is your old boy Pilk, and I know you guys have been waiting for this. I apologize it took so long, but I finally was able to catch Danmachi OVA number 3 for season 3. So the way we're going to format this is I'm going to drop this as a non-spoiler review. So make sure right now you hit that old thumbs up button. Make sure you like, and if you have not subscribed, make sure you do that now because, of course, when Season 4 drops next year, we will be covering that, and we're going to cover a lot more other stuff, and, of course, we cover the gacha game, and when the second gacha game drops this year, we will definitely be covering that too. But hit that old thumbs up button. We're going to get into the non-spoiler review right now, and then, of course, later on today, I will drop the spoiler review. So if you have not watched it, now you have a golden opportunity to maybe get a little hype, and then this afternoon, and maybe after you've watched it, or maybe whenever you watch it, you can go back and watch the spoiler review, which I will drop in a few hours, so it gives y'all some time. But for now, let's get into it. Overall, I absolutely loved this OVA. Now, if you're looking for something heavy after really the impact of what we had last season, you're in the wrong place. This is really very lighthearted, and I think it's kind of to get you back into the flow of predominantly a comedic show that, we have been enjoying for now 3 seasons. And now we have season 4 coming out, I believe, next year. I don't recollect if there's an actual date for it yet, but I do believe 2022 is the date for next season. But neither here nor there, let's talk about the OVA. Because number one, I want to first talk about just the general enjoyment factor of this. For me, a solid 10. I was never once taken out. In fact, if I really want to go in, this is one of those rare situations where, when you're enjoying something comedic and you kind of have a good chuckle, if you're in a room by yourself, you're a lot less, psychologically speaking, you're a lot less likely to actually laugh out loud. I'm by myself in my basement watching this bad boy, and there was a moment I actually had to pause and dry my eyes. It was so funny. So not only is the enjoyment factor a 10, the comedic factor 100% a 10. This was spot on wonderful. Absolutely great. Animation wise, I really felt like there were a couple spots where we could have done a little bit better. There were a couple jittery spots, a couple weird spots, but all in all, the animation was still pretty good. I will say, maybe it's just me, but the bar for an OVA like this is a little bit higher. I expect a little bit more polish and all that than you would normally get on just a general episode. So I was a little disappointed. I won't say disappointed, not by a long shot. Animation was still very good, but there were some questionable spots in the in the general run of things. So I'm gonna have to give it a 7 for animation. Could be better, could be a hell of a lot worse, but definitely not. It wasn't enough to take it out of the episode. It was really phenomenal. If you have not watched this, and I will say part of the reason that I took so long to watch this is it's not on Crunchyroll, at least not as I'm recording this. It's actually on High Dive, and I have a ton of High Dive codes from over the past couple of years from working the convention circuits. So I literally had to go find a High Dive code that actually worked so I could watch this. So if you don't have High Dive, you can go try it out for yourself. The first 30 days are free. This is not paid sponsorship or anything like that, though I guess I probably should have reached out to him about it. But neither here nor there. That's how I had to do it, though it is definitely not my preferred method. Don't ask me why. I just personally prefer Crunchyroll, but maybe that's just, old man and I'm stuck in my ways. But neither here nor there. So accessibility for me was a bit... I wish it was on more platforms, personally. But I get it. Sentai is only going to license it out so many ways. So, for me, absolutely phenomenal. And yes, I did watch the subtitle version. I'm not a big fan of dubs. So, if you're looking for a review of dub voices, this ain't going to be it, guys. Sorry, I'm just not a big fan of dubs. So, all in all for me, fantastic episode. Absolutely loved it. It was largely comedic. It did have a couple of, I won't call them actiony spots, because even most of the action was still done in the realm of a meme or a reference to something. So it really was comedy through and through and through. There wasn't any real, there was tension built, but still it was in the realm of making you laugh, not making you like worry about the characters. So realistically, in the overarching end of things, there's really not a huge amount of impact this is going to have on the ongoings of the story, with one exception. Though I think it's like easily, forgettable. I don't think it's going to have like huge implications. But we'll talk about that when we get to the spoilers here in a moment. So if you're looking for something that's lighthearted, if you're looking for something that is just truly funny, this is definitely it. Now, I will say this is not one you probably want to watch around the kids. This is extremely it's not graphic by any stretch of the imagination. It was very tastefully done. A lot of those... because it is a Hot Springs episode. Let's be real. I think all the OVAs are at this point. It is a Hot Springs episode. So you can kind of expect what you can kind of expect. Everything was, conveniently censored. So there wasn't anything gratuitous. But there were a lot of plot devices there to remove people from their clothing. So you can kind of expect what you can kind of expect with that. I'm a dirty old man. I'm good with it. I watched it by myself here alone in my basement. That probably requires a little rephrasing, but neither here nor there. If you're an adult, you'll be fine with it. Just like I said, it's not something you want to share with the young ones. Though I don't think the series is to begin with. But all in all, very enjoyable, very good. If you love the comedic parts of the show, you are absolutely going to adore this. It does actually expound a little bit on the lore between Dion Kecht and he's the hot springs god that I think he's been introduced here before, but oh boy here, and Miach, but the large, I think it's actually supposed to be Miach, but yeah, so largely. In fact, there's some really interesting stuff going on if you know a lot of the mythology behind those two and all that stuff. But realistically, just in the long realm of things, there's a lot of like mythological Easter eggs in here, but nothing that's really going to overall impact the long run of the show, aside from the fact that, obviously Miach and Dion Kecht don't really get along. And I apologize if I'm butchering the pronunciations, but it's a thing, guys. I'm going to. I don't speak Old Irish. It just ain't going, you're going to get what you're going to get out of your old boy. So, the plot itself, actually, without getting into too many spoilers, funny enough, of course, Belle is involved, but it actually revolves more around like Naza and Miach and Dion Kecht for the vast majority. In fact, he's only in it. He's maybe got, if I really went and added it up, maybe like 5 minutes of screen time. It's really like Naza's story, and it expounds on the lore in the franchise of Naza and of the Miach Familia. So in that regard, if you're looking for something that's a little bit different, that adds a little bit of flair and kind of expands a little bit upon those characters, of course, Bella's in it. He's going to be in it. He's the protag, guys. He's just going to be, I won't say shoehorned in. It did feel a little shoehorned in, if I'm honest, but he's the protag. He's going to get some shine. So I think that's really as far as I can go without getting into spoilers. But if you guys have not watched this, definitely go give it a watch. Like I said, you can get a 30-day free trial of, I don't have a personal code. This channel ain't big enough for that mess. But it is on a high dive. You can get a 30-day free trial. I would at least definitely check out the OVA. It is fantastic. When it goes on sale, I will. I don't know if it actually is on sale. Usually the OVAs do wind up like that. I think it comes on sale later. I think I don't remember a date. I honestly don't remember a date. But when it is on sale, your old boy will be purchasing it and will be owning it 100%. So that's it for the non-spoiler section of the review. I really can't go much further without really spoiling a few things. it's really hard not to, because I really did love and enjoy it that much. But if you guys did enjoy the review, let me know in the comments section. Once again, if you have not subscribed, make sure you do so, because we're going to cover a lot of Danmachi content. We are waiting. There's a new light novel with English translation of the light novel coming out soon. As soon as that's available, we will be reviewing that. There's a new Japanese light novel that just dropped. I don't try to cover those things until we get the translations. I don't like getting myself spoiled, but when that drops, probably later on this year, we'll cover that as well, and we'll go back and review some of the older light novels. So we're going to really dive deep into this franchise here going soon. So hit the little thumbs up button, make sure you subscribe if you haven't, and of course, comment down below. I will catch you guys for the spoiler review later on today, and thank you guys once again for watching.